In early October 2025, a big political shock happened in Japan. This news traveled far beyond the country. Few people expected it. Japan's government had worked together for 26 years, but this partnership suddenly ended. This left the country's first possible female prime minister in a very difficult spot, even before she could start her job. On October 10, 2025, Japan woke up to news that would change its politics forever. The Komeito Party announced it was leaving its alliance with the Liberal Democratic Party, known as LDP. Komeito had been a partner in Japan's ruling government since 1999. This decision broke a political team that had been very strong for 26 years. This timing was very bad for Sanae Takaichi. Just 6 days earlier, she had become the head of the LDP. This made her the first woman to lead Japan's main political party. She was set to become Japan's first female prime minister. But then this big political problem came. It put her dream of becoming prime minister in danger. The government's partnership ended. The LDP lost its main partner. The LDP had 196 seats in the parliament, but it needed 233 seats to have a majority and form a government. Now it was 37 seats short. The main reason Komeito left was a big disagreement. They could not agree on how to fix Japan's money scandal in politics. This scandal had already caused the previous prime minister to leave his job. It continued to cause problems for the LDP. Komeito's leader, Tetsuo Saito, said the LDP did not do enough to fix the rules about money in politics. The problem became even worse when Takaichi put Koichi Hagiyuda in an important party job. Hagiyuda had been involved in the money scandal. This is the story of how power, problems with money, and different ideas caused a very big political storm in Japan. It changed the country's future and made things very uncertain. 2. A new leader for Japan. Sanae Takaichi became the new leader of the Liberal Democratic Party, or LDP. This meant she could become Japan's first female prime minister. Her path to politics was not common. She was born in 1961 in Nara. Before politics, she was a very energetic heavy metal drummer. She also worked as a television host. Her political ideas began to form when she worked in the office of a U.S. congressman. She saw that Americans sometimes mixed up Japanese, Chinese, and Korean people. This made her believe Japan needed its own strong voice in the world. Sanae Takaichi had a close relationship with former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, who was her mentor. They both entered Parliament in 1993. They believed that Japan's peaceful ways stopped the country from being as strong as it could be. Under Abe, Takaichi became a high-ranking politician, serving as Minister for Internal Affairs and Communications, and later as Economic Security Minister. She has strong conservative views. She does not want married women to keep their own last names. She also does not support same-sex marriage. Takaichi wants to change Japan's constitution, especially the part that says Japan cannot fight wars. She visits the Yasukuni Shrine, which has caused criticism from countries like China and South Korea. Her foreign policy is tough, especially towards China and Taiwan. She wants Japan to rely less on China for important things like computer chips. In April 2025, she visited Taiwan and talked about working together on defense. Beijing saw this as a serious action. For Japan's economy, Takaichi supports what she calls Abenomics 2.0. This plan is like former leader Shinzo Abe's economic ideas. She wants the government to spend a lot of money, give support to businesses, and cut taxes. She also wants to keep interest rates low. Her plan also includes big projects for Japan's economic safety, such as in AI, computer chips, food, energy, and roads. 3. The big money problem. The big problem that started Japan's political crisis was a money scandal. This scandal deeply hurt the ruling Liberal Democratic Party, known as the LDP. It began to become known in late 2023. It was about several groups within the LDP that had systematically hidden money for many years. The main issue was that these LDP groups got money from fundraising parties. They did not report all of this money as required by Japan's political funds control law. Instead, they kept it as slush funds. This meant millions of yen went directly to politicians without proper records. For instance, the group once led by former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, called Seiwakai, failed to declare hundreds of millions of yen in kickbacks over 5 years. This money was distributed to 95 members of Japan's parliament, the Diet. Some lawmakers said the money was for policy activity, but many believed it was just hidden payments. The public's trust in the government fell greatly because of this scandal. People were very angry. The approval for the cabinet of the previous prime minister, Fumio Kishida, dropped to a historic low of only 17%. This widespread anger and lack of trust eventually led to his resignation from the Prime Minister's office. The LDP also tried to show it was serious by dissolving several of its internal groups. However, many believed the LDP's efforts to fix the problem were not enough. Prosecutors finished their investigation in January 2024. Only 4 politicians and 7 secretaries were formally charged. A much larger number, 65 LDP politicians, including many senior figures, were not charged because there was insufficient evidence. This outcome made the public even angrier. Opposition parties demanded bigger and stronger changes to stop such money problems in politics. The LDP did try to make some small reforms, like changing the political funds control law a little. But critics argued these changes did not address the core issue of how money influenced politics in the party. A clear example of this happened when Sanae Takaichi, the newly elected LDP leader, appointed Koichi Hagyuuda to a high party position. Hagyuuda had been suspended from party roles earlier because of his involvement in the very same funding scandal. This decision made many people think that the LDP was not truly committed to changing its old ways. For Komeito, the LDP's partner party, this was a breaking point. They felt they could not explain this to their supporters, who valued honesty in government. This deep problem with money and trust was a key reason for the big political crisis that followed. 4. An old friendship ends. For 26 years, the Liberal Democratic Party, or LDP, had a strong partner in ruling Japan. This partner was the Komeito Party. Komeito was not just any political group. It was founded in 1964 by Daisaku Ikeda, the head of the Soka Gakkai Buddhist movement. Because of this connection, Komeito always stood for what it called humanitarian socialism. This meant putting people first, promoting peace, and making sure the government was honest. Komeito's presence in the government was very important. It often acted as a voice of calm, especially when the LDP had more aggressive ideas. Komeito pushed for peaceful actions and good relationships with other nations, particularly China. Its pacifist beliefs often slowed down the LDP's plans for a stronger military. This long partnership gave Japan political stability for over 2 decades. The LDP gained Komeito's many loyal voters, and Komeito, though smaller, got a real say in national policies. However, this long-standing friendship began to fall apart. The big money scandal was a major cause. Komeito demanded strict new rules for political donations to stop such problems from happening again. But the LDP seemed unwilling to make the big changes Komeito felt were needed. This made Komeito's leader, Tetsuo Saito, worried. It was becoming very hard for Komeito to explain to its many supporters why they were still allied with the LDP, especially when honesty was so central to their beliefs. The final moment came after Sanae Takaichi became the LDP's new chief. She quickly appointed Koichi Hagiuda to a senior party position. This was a problem because Hagiuda had been involved in the very same money scandal that angered the public. Komeito saw this appointment as a sign that Takaichi's LDP was not truly committed to cleaning up politics. It went directly against Komeito's core values of integrity and public trust. Furthermore, Takaichi's strong conservative ideas clashed with Komeito's principles. Her visits to the Yasukuni Shrine, which some see as honoring war criminals, and her tough stance on foreign policy did not align with Komeito's peaceful views. Tetsuo Saito clearly stated, "We want to draw an end to the relationship." He said Komeito could no longer justify the alliance to its people. This decision was not made lightly. After 26 years, an old, important friendship in Japanese politics had finally ended, changing Japan's future. 5. A chance for other parties. The news of the ruling coalition breaking up brought excitement to Japan's other political parties. For many years, the Liberal Democratic Party, or LDP, had governed with its partner. Now there was a real chance for new parties to lead the country. This was a big opportunity they had not seen in a long time. The Constitutional Democratic Party of Japan, or CDP, was the largest opposition group. Its leader, Yoshihiko Noda, quickly called this a rare, once-in-a-decade chance for government change. He started talks to bring smaller parties together. The CDP held 148 seats in parliament. To choose a prime minister, a group needed 233 seats, so unity was key. Another important party was the Democratic Party for the People, called the DPP. It had 27 seats. Yuichiro Tamaki, the DPP leader, was a possible choice for prime minister. But Tamaki was careful. He said parties needed to agree on ideas and goals, not just numbers. Kazuya Shimba, another DPP leader, added that they wanted shared views on key issues, not just a big group of lawmakers. These opposition parties faced challenges because they had many different ideas. For example, the CDP and DPP disagreed on big topics like changing Japan's main laws, how to use nuclear energy, and national security. Tamaki insisted that any new government would need clear agreement on these important areas. The Japan Innovation Party, with 35 seats, was another group. Its leader, Fumitake Fujita, said his party would not support a candidate from outside their own. Their goal was a self-reliant nation, which often meant different policies. Even Komeito, the party that left the LDP, was unsure. With its 24 important seats, its leader, Tetsuo Saito, might nominate himself. But Komeito traditionally avoided working with the more modern opposition parties. So, while the chance for change was big, Japan's opposition parties faced a huge task. Their many different ideas made it very hard for them to unite and truly challenge the LDP. This meant Japan's political future remained very uncertain. 6. A fight for power. To become prime minister in Japan, a person needs a clear majority of votes in the House of Representatives, which is the more powerful part of parliament. This means getting at least 233 votes out of a total of 465 seats. Sanae Takaichi, as the new leader of the Liberal Democratic Party, or LDP, needs to win this vote to take office. The LDP now holds 196 seats. However, its longtime partner, Komeito, which has 24 seats, has left the government team. This means the LDP is 37 votes short of the number needed to secure the prime minister position. It is a very difficult situation for Takaichi. Without Komeito, the LDP must quickly find new political partners or convince some opposition members to support her. This situation gives the opposition parties a big chance. The main opposition groups together have many seats. The Constitutional Democratic Party of Japan, CDP, has 148 seats. The Democratic Party for the People, DPP, holds 27 seats, and the Japan Innovation Party has 35 seats. If these three parties join their votes, they would have 210 seats. Adding Kometo's 24 seats or other smaller parties could give them enough to block Takaichi. However, bringing these different opposition parties together is not easy. They have very different ideas on many important topics, from how the economy should work to national defense. Because of these policy differences, it is often hard for them to agree on a single candidate to vote for. Political experts believe that creating a united front among them will be a major challenge. To overcome its shortfall, the LDP is actively trying to get support from other parties. Reports suggest the LDP is holding talks with the Democratic Party for the People, DPP, hoping to gain their 27 votes. The DPP's focus on some economic measures, like tax cuts, has some things in common with Takaichi's economic plans, which are sometimes called Abenomics 2.0. This shared interest might help them form a new alliance. Komeito, despite leaving the government team, still plays a key role with its 24 seats. Its leader, Tetsuo Saito, has even said that Komeito might nominate him as an alternative candidate for prime minister. However, Komeito has traditionally avoided working closely with the more progressive opposition parties. Their final decision could greatly affect the outcome. The next few days will be a true fight for power in Japan's parliament. 7. Changes for Japan and the world. The political changes in Japan brought big questions for its economy. Before the crisis, when Sanae Takaichi was chosen to lead her party, the stock market went up. People thought she would use economic policies like Abenomics, which meant more government spending and tax cuts. These ideas made the Nikkei stock index reach record highs. Also, the Japanese currency, the yen, became weaker against the US dollar, which helped Japanese companies selling products overseas. However, when the ruling partnership ended, the positive feelings in the market started to change. The yen became stronger again, and prices for government bonds moved up and down. This happened because investors were unsure if Takaichi's economic plans would actually be put into action. If she did not become prime minister, or if a new leader decided to spend less money, the good market trends could reverse. This political uncertainty came at a difficult time for Japan's economy. Workers' real wages were falling, meaning their money bought less because prices for goods were increasing fast. The political problems also made Japan's relationships with other countries more difficult. Japan is a very important country for the world economy and for keeping peace in Asia. With an unstable government, Japan might find it harder to make clear decisions and act quickly on important issues. Tensions were already high with China, especially concerning Taiwan. Takaichi had visited Taiwan and talked about working together on defense, which China did not approve of. Now, a weak Japanese government could make China feel more confident in pushing its own agenda in the region. Japan also has a strong friendship with the United States. This alliance is key for security in Asia. A period of political uncertainty in Tokyo could make it harder for both countries to work closely. This affects important efforts like stopping threats from China and North Korea. For example, Japan sends old warships to countries like the Philippines to help them protect their waters. These plans need a steady government to continue. The Korean Peninsula is another area of concern, with North Korea's actions creating risks. Without a stable and clear government, Japan might struggle to work effectively with South Korea and the United States to manage these dangers. This could create new problems for security across Asia, making the region less safe. The world is watching closely to see how Japan manages these significant changes. 8. What happens next? Japan recently saw a very big political change. A government partnership that lasted 26 years suddenly ended. This created a new and uncertain time for the country. Many people wondered what would happen next. This was the end of a long, stable political period for Japan. Sanae Takaichi, who wanted to be the first female prime minister, faced a big crisis. Before taking office, she needed to find enough support to lead the government. Without the Komeito party, her path to power was unclear. It became a difficult numbers game in the parliament, as her party did not have enough seats alone. This situation gave other political parties a big chance. For many years, the LDP party was in charge. Now, opposition parties could work together to form a new government. But they had different ideas and goals. This made it hard for them to agree on one leader or one plan. This situation gave other political parties a big chance. For many years, the LDP party was in charge. Now, opposition parties could work together to form a new government. But they had different ideas and goals. This made it hard for them to agree on one leader or one plan. Their differences could stop them from taking this opportunity. Japan also faced serious problems. Its economy was struggling, and there were worries about security in Asia. A strong government was important to deal with these issues. But the political crisis made it harder to make quick decisions. Nations like the United States and China watched closely. They knew Japan's stability was important for all of Asia. This moment truly marked the end of an era of political calm. A new, unpredictable time was beginning. The decisions made soon would decide Japan's future. This period would test Japan's democracy and its leaders. The country needed to decide who would lead and what new direction it would take. Would Japan stay on a conservative path? Or would it choose a different way with new parties and ideas? The answers were not clear. Japan was at a crossroads with many uncertainties ahead. Do you think Japan will find a new strong leader quickly? Or will the political uncertainty last for a long time?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.